Hello, my name's Ron Moore. I've been homeless, I think about 7 times in 4 or 5 different states. And it occurs to me that the sort of advice and the sort of help I got while I was on the streets wasn't always very helpful. I didn't feel that anyone spoke from experience. And what I mean by that is the experience of actually living on the street, the experience of actually living in a shelter, or having your life crumble to the point to where you have nothing left but the street. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, and I hope I can get some feedback about whether this is helpful or your suggestions from your experiences, because after all, what we know based on what we've done. Well, our common sense and our knowledge is, for the most part, based on what worked for us and what didn't work for us. It's really not more complicated than that. I know there's a lot of book learning out there, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to learning life and learning how to survive out on the streets and learning how to be homeless in a way that helps you to get out of being homeless, I don't think there's a lot out there for us. So my attitude is, if you're in a hole, first thing you do is stop digging. Then take that shovel and try to figure out how to build some stairs or some notches or something that'll get you out of that hole. Once you're out of the hole, you're only above ground. That doesn't really necessarily mean that you've made it, but it certainly means that you can see more clearly. So that's the attempt I'm going to make on this series of videos. It also gives me an opportunity to share, and I hope to help some other people. I've been a union president. I was fired 3 times as the national president of the TSA officers. I was, they didn't like the way I spoke out sometimes, but at some point I had to just sort of give that up. I've been a union organizer. I'm a writer, and you know, I've had brief success in everything I've done. The problem is that when you combine mental illness, I have depression and anxiety, with alcohol, namely Jack Daniels, you find that you can sustain a successful life for a year or so, but at some point things trigger you and you end up responding at times in ways that set you back. In my case, my bad days were payday because I made sure that was my day off. And on payday, I would get drunk, I would post, I would get angry about my situation, I would post things on Facebook, I would say things to people, or I would just want to hurt myself. None of those are really the sort of steps you want to take to succeed in life. Yet I felt that I was, that I was allowed to do these things because, after all, look at all I've been through. And also, if you factor in, by the way, gambling, you just simply can't live that way. So I'm no role model as far as how to live, unless you want to think of a negative role model. But I've been on the streets, I've been homeless, and so I'm going to share what I think would have helped me and what I think would help you. So my first thought about homelessness is that homelessness is not lacking shelter. It's not lacking a home. You cannot fix someone who is homeless and turn their life around by giving them shelter. It takes hard work and a number of steps to become homeless. Oftentimes you lose your family, you lose jobs, you lose the battle with addiction, mental illness. Eventually you lose everything that's connected you to society. And also you've burned a lot of bridges. I know I have. So Homelessness, the minute you're on the streets, the day you're on the street, we can all remember that first time. The day you're on the street, it's just the end of the homelessness phase. Now everything's changed. You didn't become homeless the day you were on the street. You were homeless in yourself a long time before that because you had become untethered from the things that made you successful, that made you decent, that made you optimistic about life. So what I'm going to talk about in these series of videos is first how to examine what got you there, and then talk about resources and talk about what's worked for me. It is my hope in this first video, and hopefully this will be, well, I shouldn't say that. I want this to be an appealing video. It's not going to be real professional, folks, okay? But it's going to be honest. And I'm an authentic person. And I have a lot of time on my hands. I had open heart surgery in April, and I'm dealing with a lot of issues, but the bottom line is I'm not working, and I don't think I ever will work again. So I have time to do something of value, and I've decided to do this. Now you can reach me at my email. It's ron.moore, M-O-O-R-E, .writer, W-R-I-T-E-R, at gmail.com. Or you can call me, 702-601-4502. Now for the moment, I have my Obama phone, which if you have one, you know there's a limit to how many minutes you have. But I'll be more than happy to accept any donations anyone wants to provide towards the $10 a month to get unlimited minutes on the phone. But let's do this together. Let's collaborate. We're a community. We're stronger together than we are apart. You know, Big Bill Haywood, the leader of the Wobblies, said the boss's brain is under the worker's hats. That means that we know more about how to change our lives than the people that are out there trying to change our lives. They may be able to change some of our circumstances, but they can't change who we are if we don't go through the proper steps to change ourselves. So I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress, but I'm here. As long as I'm here, I'm going to be an advocate for you. So please share this video, give it a good comment or review, or a critical comment, that's fine. But just realize that I'm doing this to make a difference. And I'm no better than you, but I'm going to be right there with you. And let's build this together so that in the future we're helping other people that have been through just the same thing we are. And maybe we can make it a little less terrible if we know how to solve some of the more basic problems, if we know how to solve some of the issues that separate us from the community, that make us feel that we're not worthy of just the basic things. And then over time, if you lose that connection, you lose yourself. And if you lose yourself, you're likely to lose your mind, lose your self-control, lose your ability to conquer addiction. You know, you're going to feel that you're not worthy enough to ask for help, to go to a doctor, to go to a mental health professional, because there's no point. But I hope that you will learn from from these videos, that there is a point, that you have to try to help yourself, even if you fail, because we all fail. We failed a lot. We're experts at failure. So I'm not going to talk about how to fail. We all know how to do that already. But let's talk about how to take that failure, use that experience, and turn it upside down. So again, my name's Ron Moore. You can reach me at ron.moore.writer@gmail.com or 702-601-4502. Be safe, be in touch, and be strong. Until we meet again, take care of yourself. All right, that's the end of the very first introductory video.